welcome back to the Flashing Badger podcast Roadshow edition. That's right, this week it is just myself, Mike.
Hello.
And Fitz.
G'day.
No Wegs, because we've gone on holiday and he has grown-up responsibilities. This week we're continuing to play Cyberpunk. CBR PNK is how it's styled. It's published by Mythopia Games and it was created by Emmanuel Mello. We had episode 1 last week. If you haven't listened to that one yet, please go back and listen because this is part 2 of a continuing story. Before we start, let's cue the music.
Flashing Badger, Flashing Badger, all right. Flashing Badger.
Mike.
Hello.
Remind us about your character and who you are playing.
I'm Spyda. I am tech savvy, but I'm really scrawny. I'm super selfish. I will exploit people for my own financial gain. And I'm looking to get one last job, which is today, which will set me up financially, but not just enough to coast by. I want the popular, overt lifestyle of riches and augments to be able to strut the street.
Brilliant. And Fitz, you're playing Brodie again this week. Tell us about Brodie.
I'm playing Brodie. Brodie is the big, tough, angry-looking Amazonian-like player. She comes across aggressive, comes across angry, and comes across really, really hard. But realistically, deep down, she has a heart of gold and is doing this for one reason, her family.
Excellent. And she's looking after her young sister.
Casey,
yes. This is one last run because if this run's successful and she gets the credits she needs, Brodie will finally have enough to buy her sister that much needed final generic health medical thing that will get her better and let her lead a normal life.
So when you were last with us, the runners had woken up in carriage 19 of a railway train and carriage 18, I think it was, and they had the objective of reaching car 22. That was all they knew about their mission. When the game started, a flashbang had just gone off. They've dispatched a squad of Black Hound paramilitaries and made their way through to the adjoining carriage. There's been a few weird reality glitches. There's been a few people on the train behaving contrary to expectation, and some of the ads and things and the overhead messages have popped up. So as we left, they had just entered carriage 19, where the sign, the overhead advertising and everything had popped up with a lot of encouragement, it seemed, focus on the number 12 and telling them to go back and do all sorts of things. But as they entered carriage 19, they realised it was an exact duplicate of carriage 18, even down to the same looking people sitting in the same looking seats and things. So as you've entered this carriage, from overhead you hear bing, 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 bing. And the train announcement comes over and it says, "We will reach our destination in minutes."
Oh, in minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's how they tell time in the future. No, it's clearly statics out when it's saying how long it's going to be.
Right.
What do you want to do here? You can see that, like I say, the people are in the same sort of position. The same seats appear to be filled.
Yeah, and I think we're confused. Well, at least I'm confused because I don't know if you recall from last week, but Brodie has quite a large, straight-up mohawk, and it pretty much denotes the mood she's in. So it's currently sort of glowing aqua, which is Brodie's colour for confused. She doesn't quite know what's happening here, and I'm giving a longing look to Spyda going, are you as confused as I am? Are you getting this? Didn't we just leave this carriage? This is weird, man.
Spyda is going back through everything that happened on car 18, and he's a little absent from the conversation with Brodie, and he's trying to remember the things that went wrong, and only now retrospectively trying to identify if there were clues. Also, me as a player, I am almost myself retconning your mohawk a little, and I picture it really reptilian, like it goes up and down, and goes and comes back up, and just plays like a fin.
Like a fin.
Which isn't the case, but I just want you to know I'm picturing it. So, part of Spyda wants to almost run to the next end of the cart and cover ground. But he wants to know what's going on, not from a desire to understand the world, but from a frustration of understanding tech.
Right.
And so rather than just run to the end of the cart and complete this mission, now it's bugging him that he doesn't understand why tech isn't doing what it's supposed to do. And so I'm already starting to turn my mind to how I'm going to find answers.
And how does that manifest?
Previously, my cyber deck on my wrist was connected indirectly to the network of this monorail car. As I cross over the threshold into car 19, is it still connected?
No, you were physically plugged in, if you remember. You said you pulled the cable out and plugged into the port. So as soon as you moved off, you unplugged that and retracted it like a vacuum cleaner cable. It zipped back in. Gave you a little flick on the wrist as it came in.
Okay, so knowing that, I want information coming in so I can understand what's happening and make my decisions. So I'm looking to reconnect again. But I have to cross over a few of these 4-person booths to be able to get to the next information display, contact the driver, jack port.
Midway, 2/3 of the way down the carriage, yep.
Yep, so I'm walking up and I'm reconnecting now so that I can access the cybernetic infrastructure of this.
So as you walk past a couple of the commuters on the train, you see that there is, one of them is one of these seats is a young guy who's got like a backpack on his lap. And as you walk past him, you can see that he's like mouthing, just softly singing the words to a popular song that you know of. But it's literally at half speed.
He's mouthing up the words.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Can I listen to the lyrics?
Sure. You hear them perfectly.
And what are they?
Insert popular Cyberpunk 2092
I was
song
braced,
here.
pen in hand. I'm like, it'll be a clue.
For those of you that don't know, Gordo has the voice of an angel, but he rarely gets it out. Maybe only after a vino or two.
Or on a roller
wine mix.
coaster.
That's the only time.
I hear him plenty on a roller coaster, though.
Yeah, there was some obscenity.
Okay, so he's
there.
softly at half speed singing a pop song.
Correct.
Okay. Now I've got Newspaper Man, digital display newspaper. I have the elderly gentleman wearing the VR goggles. I now have Backpack Man singing song slowly.
You want to look at more? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, can I see who else is around?
You see there's a couple there that are, they're using their CyberPad phone, whatever, to do a selfie with like the cityscape behind them trundling past.
Yep.
They do the selfie. And then 90 seconds later, they do the same selfie, the same smile.
Using my augmentation, which to remind people is the Syntec Optics Spectre Iris Mark III, initially designed purely for public source information to be a retina display for you, but I have used firmware and hacking to also have built-in intelligence and stolen data display on the optic for me. Looking at this couple, because previously in the last adventure on Cart 18, I looked at someone's face and it gave me data unknown, data unknown, data unknown. Mm-hmm. Looking at the couple, does anything display for me?
Absolutely nothing. And to the point where you wonder if your external communication's working properly, if your signals are being jammed or something. You get nothing back and you get glitches in the results. Unknown, no data, data source is not accessible, that kind of thing.
You're very close to me having me snatch their phone off them and review their camera reel, which I imagine will be 900 photos of the same selfie, and the same backdrop.
And this is something that I've noticed now as well. Having a look at it, there's confusion here, and I'm guessing I'm getting the same feeling that these people aren't right. Something is going on here, and I take it upon myself in my Brodie isn't shy about going forward and coming backwards. So she isn't forward about going backwards. So she selects newspaper guy and sort of as subtly as you can, in that old movie style, pulls down the newspaper from him and goes, "Excuse me, sir," and engages him in a conversation. So, sorry, mate, where's this monorail go?
Mate.
Yeah.
His eyes remain unwavering from what would have been the midpoint of the paper, which you see is turned off and not displaying anything.
And I guess I do the old, the waving the hand in front of the face and the anyone home type thing. Just seeing, is there anyone home? Is there anyone in there?
No, there's not. He doesn't react.
I've connected to the network again, and I'm taking a look at the journey recorded logs of this monorail. Normally it would show me each of the routes they've taken throughout the day, the times, and what run they're on, and maybe what driver ID allocation number is attributed to it. What do I see for this monorail?
As soon as you try and connect to the log files, it's like data corrupted, not available. And then there's strings of sort of random numbers, but you do see the number 12 keeps popping up in this like clusters. So it's, it'll be a string of characters, 12, string of random characters, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12 for a whole line. And then it's always just the number 12 repeated in amongst the gobbledygook. It's pretty much the only number that appears.
And this is freaking Brodie out a little bit now. I'm loudly questioning out to Spyda what the hell is going on here. What's happening? These people are zombies. What the hell is this? Are we in the Matrix or something? I'm asking him as the tech guy. I'm looking towards Spyda for some answers here.
The package that I'm holding has the electronic lock on it.
Yes.
And it has a combination code, which is 6 digits.
Yep.
I put 12, 12, 12 in and hit the little hash button to the bottom right.
It instantly blows up and
it just gives you like access denied. So you can see the door that leads through to carriage 20, further ahead of you. The door back to carriage 18 is now hissed closed, but is, it's still got the green light above like it's unlocked.
I start moving up the center of this monorail car towards car 20. And as I do that, I'm looking at the advertising electronic displays on the overheads. I'm listening for more audio announcements. And I'm still also taking in what's happening outside and registering that it's the same pattern of landscape.
And are the two of you moving up like as a pair?
Yeah.
Or are you, okay.
yeah, definitely moving up as a pair.
As you're moving up the middle there, you see one person who's out of place in the seat. And as you get closer, you see this person from the seat drop forward onto one knee, and you see him grab something from a chest pouch and start extending his arm backwards to you as if he's about to throw something. What do you do?
So this becomes noticeable to me, especially with my augmented
As soon
reflexes.
as the guy starts moving.
As soon as he starts moving, I'm getting the perception, the filaments in my body are already tensing me, already twinging me. And I look around to see, and my threat perception part, AI part of it, is now hyper-focused as what's in this guy's hand.
Because you've got this slow-mo perception that comes up, you can see that he is wearing one of the like specialized runner suits that's got like filaments and cooling tubes run through the surface of it. It's got all the haptic connections. It's got pouches. He's got on his back, he's got like aluminium fins and vents, cooling rig for his built-in cyber stuff to his suit. Like this is high-tech gear for you, and you can just see it's like the Velcro, the cyber Velcro of his pouch coming undone. So you've already sort of clocked him by the time but he's deliberately dropped forward and made his body low from his seat, like he's trying to remain out of view, or like he's getting into a combat position.
Right.
So your AI response has instantly flagged him and highlighted him in red for you through your cyber.
This is where, and this is flagging in me. My perception, my threat perception, my AI, my filaments are all glowing red. My mohawk has gone straight to high alert, and that's orange. I'm keeping a list of all the colors here. So my mohawk has gone straight to high alert. And what we might have here is I'm starting to load down. You see my arms raise up.
So in this game system, for everyone listening at home, flashbacks are used as ways to retcon into reality things that you previously hadn't mentioned or that you've done. It can get you access to new assets, new augmentations, new upgrades. And it's essentially a game-long retcon that it's something that Brodie always had with her.
As I've stated, my reflexes are going off chop. My mohawk's gone orange, and I'm quickly almost getting into the small, low throwing position myself. And this is when a part of my good gear that we've come out is I have these two wrist attachments, if you will. Mm-hmm. Within them is almost like, think the sort of Nerf gun, disc shooter, Spidey type deployment option, the bang, whatever, and shooting out of those little, each wrist one has 3. They're essentially a small disc that has prongs or probes in it, will attach to anything that hits them, and they are like a taser.
I thought you were going to say like a Tarzo. Oh, no, Tarzo. Like an electronic Tarzo.
I like the idea that when it hits,
a POG.
When it hits the person, it throws out these little monofilament wires to get like better grounding.
100%.
And stuff. It just goes like,
And that's
throws
it.
voltage.
It prongs into them and just starts giving electrical pulses big enough to disable or short circuit or neutralize any person or anything pretty much that it attaches to. And I've gone straight into low stance combat mode, and I've thrown one of these out straight and towards that bloke's direction.
Without, you don't even know who he is, but sure, you do you, man.
I perceived him as a threat, and that's enough for Brodie.
The ticket inspector goes into heart convulsions.
So I'll give you threat 2 for this guy, and I'm happy to do effect 2 as well, which is pretty much our standard.
Yeah. And so with this, I'm going to use my aggression.
Yeah, if you think that's the appropriate avenue. I'm not sure about this. Is more like a ranged combat though, so I don't think you get those close combat dice.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, but I do have a 1 for my ranged combat.
Okay, so you've got 3, and in your ranged combat expertise here, if it falls under any of those specific words, then you're able to trade a dice for an edge.
And I believe this falls into the throwing.
Throwing's in there?
It's throwing's in there. So again, this I think is 3 dice.
You can keep 3, or you can trade 1 for an edge.
I'll trade it for an edge.
Okay, so you can reduce threat, boost effect.
I think in that one I'm going to increase the effect.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So just 2 dice for me. Give me a roll.
Got a 5 is my highest.
So a 5 is a partial success, but it's going to come with a consequence. So tell me how that goes.
My Tarzo, or my Pog, as I'm now thinking of it in my brain, hits him and attaches and gives out the shock. It stops him doing whatever he was intending to do.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you the consequence is that he lets go of the device
And I
that's in his
was
hand.
actually going to say that, but whatever he had in his hand drops out onto the floor.
The device that's in his hand still rolls its way back down the carriage to you and detonates and throws out an EMP cloud that shuts down electronics, including Spyda's cyber eye.
Sorry about that.
The operative is taken us, he is stunned. You can see him sort of reacting, but
And basically, the flashbang goes off again.
well, no, it's an EMP, so it's very much only, it's not hit the visible spectrum. You can see everything, but all of your combat augments have gone offline. Spyda's usability has gone down a lot. His cyberdeck's
I don't know use to
going
anyone.
into reboot. So on that note,
Are the ads still
all
displayed?
the overhead screens have gone.
Yep.
The glow from under the old man's VR goggles around the edge of the eyepiece there has disappeared, but he again hasn't reacted in any meaningful way. The couple taking selfies are just holding their camera up for another selfie, and the screen shuts down at the very moment that they're pressing the click button, but they don't react and just keep.
Do they still go through the
they
motions?
Still look at the screen and both smile as if they're happy with the outcome.
Awesome.
So Spyda, you're in a difficult spot. What are you going to do here?
Well, what's really cool with this game is I necessarily don't have to act. So it can come back to you, but I'm happy to get involved and try and do something. I am 100% geared towards tech, and that option is gone. So now I'm shuffling back and I come into the 4-seater seat that is behind this one, and I grab him by the shoulders to the rear, and I'm just trying to hold him back into his seat so that he can't wiggle out and move.
The operative you're trying to hold down. Okay.
So I'm trying to hold him detained in his seat and effectively be the bonus to you if you're going to come in and do some punching. I'm just trying to get a grip of him. And the aluminium suit with the fins and the vents and the things at the back, I'm trying to just get a grip on those.
And I, whilst Brodie's augments might be out too, this doesn't take away from the fact that...
I haven't got to you yet.
Oh,
mate.
sorry.
You don't need to sell me.
No.
I'm happy with that. But Spyda, I'm concerned about this.
Yeah.
And I think this is pretty high risk.
It is.
And I think it's pretty low reward.
Yep.
So I'm going to say this is going to be threat 3, effectiveness 1.
Yeah.
So the odds are that you're at very high risk, and you're going to give it advantage, but you're not going to meaningfully upset this person's plans. That's my rationale. And as always, if you disagree with any of my rationales, make sure you comment in the Discord and give us a like.
Well, let me tell you about all the stats that I can't use for this.
Brilliant.
So this is aggressive.
Yep.
But I have no points in aggressive. So there's no dice coming across from there. And I'd say that this is close combat.
Yep.
To which I have no dice as well. So tell us what happens when I'm bringing nothing to this.
So if you have no dice, if you will be at 0 or less than 0 dice, you roll 2 and take the worst result.
Yep. So there are ways that I could spend stress here to try and improve some things. There's the element of pushing. Is pushing to obtain dice or a reroll?
So pushing is where it's going to cost you 2 stress or add a glitch to one of your skills, one of your approaches, to increase an effect or allow you to act when you're out, which obviously isn't relevant at the moment. So you can add dice to your roll, or you can increase. So that would get you up to 1 dice, just take the result, as opposed to 2 and pick the worst one, if you'd like to do that.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you the 2 dice and take the worst result.
I will say, another way that you can sell this is you can do this, instead of doing it as a unique action, you can do this as an assist to Brodie's move, which is you're going to mark a stress, and you're going to be vulnerable to the consequences of whatever negative effect he might get out, or might get out of this.
That's much better. Let's do that. I'll mark a stress on my sheet.
Spyda's jumping up, trying to grab this guy by the shoulders and slow him down or detain him. Brodie, what are you doing while he's doing that?
I'm pretty much, despite the EMP going off and all that, I'm still a large, very fit and athletic person. And straight after shooting my, all I can think of it now is a Pog Tarzo taser, I'm sprinting towards this person with the idea of physically bundling him up and securing him, grabbing him, because this person here is different to the rest. He might have some answers.
Okay. So
now, in order to do that, I think I use my aggression because I am beelining straight for this bloke.
Yep. So you get 2 dice for your aggressive approach.
2 dice for aggressive. Once I grab him, once I get to him, or if we're not there yet, I do have athletics. 2 of my things are athletics, and one of those is sprint.
Okay. Well, I'll let you take either the close combat bonus or the sprint bonus. So you're going to end up with 4 dice there, and then Mike's assist is giving you 5 dice from the way I count it.
Yeah, and I'm happy with that. So the goal is to get in there close, bundling him up and secure him.
Yep, and those expertises for close combat may allow you to... So I'm happy at the moment, you're still at threat 3 because this guy's a dangerous character, but I'm happy that you're now at effect 2 with the assist, and you can push higher than that if you want. So you can trade one of those dice for an edge if it fits under those close combat expertises.
One of my close combat expertises is brawling. Cool. And I think securing and brawling would be that. So I'm going to sacrifice one of those dice for the edge.
For an edge, rather. Yep.
Yep. Let's go. And so the highest I have is 5.
Brilliant. So that is going to be a partial success, a success with consequence.
The consequence is I accidentally headbutt Spyda. Ow! Give him a blood nose.
Run me through how this goes.
Yep. So I pretty much run straight up on him, and using my combat expertise and judo, whatever martial art it is, I've grabbed him. I bundled him up. His hands are now secure. I've got them both. I've wrapped him. You can say it's a bear hug, whichever way you want. His hands are no more use to him, and I've almost got him in this sort of forearm chokehold with Spyda behind, holding him down, and I'm screaming at him. The old, I was going to go to Batman. Where are they? Who are you? What's going on? What the hell? What's happening here? Why is... I'm throwing 100 questions at him.
The first punch was straight in his tummy that winded him, and his lunch money fell out of his pockets while I'm holding him.
I've given him the sciatic nerve hit straight in there. He's winded and he's puffed and he's hurting. So whilst I'm screaming at him to give me answers, he probably can't do hard because I've hit him really hard.
Perfect. Well, I will say, before we go much further, the consequence that you've already given to me, which I quite like, is in the process of doing this, you driving this bloke's chin up has caused his head to smack back and hit Spyda in the face. So, Spyda, you're going to take a level 1 harm for me, which is going to be, let's call it a broken nose.
Ooh.
I'm not a doctor, but it doesn't look good.
Okay.
And you've got this guy wrapped up. Yep, no problem. I'm happy with that. And he's still pierced conscious. He's got, again... Once you're in front of him, you can see now he's wearing the full real insectile view. He's got eyes covered with almost like those drone pilot goggles that you see that have got no visible apertures. They've got little pins and things on the outside. His face has got a rebreather on the lower half of it. He's got a hood over it. It's like a full body suit. He's completely enclosed, like a Dune still suit style.
And most importantly, Mohawk's red at the moment.
Okay.
I'm angry.
All right, so you've got him there, you've got him wrapped up. What now?
I'm questioning him. Who are you is the big one that's coming out, and what's going on here?
Awesome. Talk to me like I'm the person.
Who are you?
Okay, not so aggressive, that's frightening, but and he looks at you or his head tilts towards you and he speaks and all you get is like static.
I give him the other question and another one. What's going on here?
Same result.
I'm looking up at Spyda in the hopes that he understands this electronic gobbledygook here because I'm doing my part here, and I can't get any sense out of him. Am I getting a sense because I'm bundled him up? I'm almost straddling him, sitting on him here. I've got his arms secured with my one hand and sort of legs or thighs, and I've got my other forearm right up against his throat in what would normally be making someone not be able to breathe very well, but enough that they could talk or they know that they're in trouble.
And the overhead announcement goes, bing, 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 bing. Fuck Brodie. Bing, boom.
What?
You want to fight? You just punch the wall.
That's it. That's what the announcement was.
It's good that the overhead announcement signifies to me that the effects of the EMP grenade have worn off and the electronic devices are back on, and I get the flickering of my eye doing the reset function as it starts to reload. A little eye and banana symbol pop up on the screen to say that it's doing a full reset because it's by Banana Brand. I grab his wrist and I connect my C2C jack port into his wrist, and I'm accessing his personal software.
Right. Now, I love this. I think this is great. But obviously, runner to runner, hacker to hacker, there's going to be some pretty gnarly anti-intrusion stuff going on.
He has a trace buster.
Absolutely. You're going to have to bust out the trace buster. Tell me how this roll is going to go. Shape it up for me. Using your smarts, using your hacking.
2 for smarts, 2 for hacking. Brings me straight to 4.
Okay.
It's using my equipment, which is the cyber deck again.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 4 dice, and there is the risk of contamination and the anti-hacking software destroying my own devices.
So it sounds to me like it's still going to be reasonably high threat. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, again, it's threat 3, because even though it's not going to cause you, well, it may cause you physical injury, there may be physical feedback, but I think it's going to cause you damage to your essential systems if it goes wrong. But I'm willing to give you effect 3 as well.
Okay. I'll keep it as is. I'm not going to trade out with an expertise, and I'm going to give you the 4 dice roll.
Okay.
We have a critical success with 2 6s.
So you hack, and you through your deck there, you see all this anti-intrusion stuff coming at you, and you are deftly like dodging and weaving around this. You are steering your software like you rarely have before. You are absolutely on song, and you might be helped. He's probably still stunned from this, and some of the manual intervention that would have made his defenses more tenacious don't kick in. As you connect into him, for a second, your cyber eye flicks off, and as it flicks off, you have this vision of, through your own eye, looking up at the ceiling and a bright light being shone across your eye like for a reaction test, and then flicks back. Your eye immediately clicks back as if nothing's ever happened.
Okay.
And you access this guy's diagnostics, and you can see what brand and shape of hardware he's using. You can see all the diagnostic information about how he's custom built his deck and what things he's got. And you can see the connection back to Blackhound headquarters. You can see that he's an independently sourced contractor for them, but you don't get any personal details. You can't get anything about who he is or where he's from. All that stuff that would usually be on his personal ID chip just doesn't show.
Clearly you're relaying this verbally to me at the time.
So am I?
Yeah. I don't know. So I can understand.
I don't recall saying any of that to you.
And as you disconnect from him, like a freight train, you are smacked by the realization and the memory that this is a simulation, and that you are plugged into a very sophisticated simulator that's running this. You know that this would take vast computing power. This is big neural network, big corpo stuff. What neural network is running this? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea of who the big players are? Tell me.
It screams cyber systems.
The big dogs in town?
Yep. They have just a monopoly on the cyber tech.
And I know they've got that big tower in the center of town square.
Yes.
And I know the whole center of the building is like a giant, almost aquarium filled, which is just liquid cooling for the core central AI that runs their systems.
And there's so many staff that work there, but so few of those staff know the roles of anyone else in the building. You are limited in the access that you can have through the building. It is, you have a swipe card that will access 3 points, and that's it. There's no wandering through Cyber Systems HQ and looking around. So they can control information by having so few people knowing what's going on. And this screams cyber systems to me. 150 floors, they could have 10 floors devoted to running a simulation software like this.
Right.
And how did you forget where you were? How did you end up in this simulation with no knowledge of what led you there? What's your hypothesis?
I remember now my last memory, and that was I was in my apartment. My apartment is like low lit. There's some neon stuff going on and around, and the coffee table in the center is covered in used stim injectors and like tinkering of bionics and things like that. And I've got 6 different cyber deck displays that I use as like, picture a burner phone in today's era.
Yeah.
What that is there. And I was being contacted on them by different people, and I supply cyber systems and I supply stims to locals in the area. And I was contacted by someone who'd purchased off me maybe 2 or 3 times before. And I told them same meeting place, same circumstance. And I went down into the back alleyway, and there was light rain and there were puddles on the ground. And I was standing next to a dumpster and a fire escape off another apartment. And they rounded the corner, and we were doing the exchange of what looks like a rebreather style small apparatus, soft plastic, colourful. I handed that over, and they were handing me something, and I just felt a zap. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I've hit the ground. I felt my head hit, and now that I can feel the lump on the side of my head, and that was my last memory.
And Brodie, what about you? Was it a similar... Has this memory come rushing back yet or not? Are you still dazed in the dark?
I'm getting these flashes back too that Spyda's getting as well. And this is it's a very similar one for me too. In taking this job, I was trying to get some gear and tech together in order to make it a more successful run. I've called up a mate, a broker of mine. We've gone down to the back alleyway to see what he's got available. It's a small memory, for a flash memory too. He's handed me something to say, check out this new thing I've got. And again, I felt a small electrical pulse, and that's sort of the last strong memory I have.
Now, humanity can travel exactly as they are meant to on...
Knife boots!
Don't be outclassed by those idiots riding the pedway in third sector. Get...
Knife boots!
Don't be left in the dust of hoverboard riding Juves. Get...
Knife boots!
Don't be embarrassed to be seen in a grav car in peak hour traffic. Get...
Knife boots!
With...
Knife boots!
You can stab those other idiots right in the face, steal their romantic partners, and become cool. They're like ice skates, but legally distinct.
Knife boots!
Get more slash in your step. And coming soon, knife gloves! Like knives, but for your hands! Please note, face stabbing is only available providing you can jump high enough while the target is lying down. Cultro Industries accepts no responsibility for lost digits, paralysis, legal troubles, or an unchanged social status as a result of using
Knife boots!
Flashing Badger. Now that reality is snapped around you and that you realise where you are and what you're doing, you know, Spyda, that a simulation of this type, death here is going to spell brain death in the real world. It's going to cook you. This is not a place to play. This is the full safeguards of cyberspace simulation. You don't mess around in unless you're very, very serious. And thankfully for you guys, it appears your skills on the outside are as translatable in here. Now that you know what's going on, you flash back in memory. You remember that your original goal here was to protect this network from a virus. And you remember that something changed that. And you're not sure what it is, but you now have a choice. And your choice is that you push your way through to car 12 and get off there, or you destroy the package. You know now that car 22 is leading you towards...
12 number that kept coming up in our systems.
Car 22 is leading you towards the heart of the neural network, where that package in your hands will spell its doom. That's why it's been feeding you information to try and steer you back to car 12. So it's still not communicating with you overtly. You haven't got a voice in your ear or anything, but the signs are snapping into place for you. You know, car 22 is the heart of this sophisticated cyber network. And looking down at the package now, it becomes clear to you. You can see that the display has changed. it's obvious that this is a viral bomb that you're carrying. So choices are car 12, where where the network is trying to steer you, or car 22, where you've been directed to go by your shadowy employers.
I take Brodie by the shoulder with one hand and I say, the system, its defense system, is trying to push us out. We need to remain focused on getting to 22. All the voices in your head, their anti-corruption system is going to try and push you in the opposite direction. Stay with me as we get to car 22. See,
Brodie, you look reticent about this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Brodie just wants to get paid. Brodie wants to get out of this alive and get paid for Casey and her family. I'm processing this thinking, which is the most likely to get that to happen? So are the choices for us here destroying this system, or not destroying this system and doing what our employers wanting us to destroy?
So the network you're plugged into wants you to go to car 12 and spare it. The role that you found yourselves in was going and destroying it.
We are the virus.
You were the virus delivery system.
Right.
And Blackhound, I believe, will be their antivirus system that entered the cart, and that was it trying to prevent the virus override.
Right.
And that was us fighting back. Picture a Yakult going through your system.
We are microbiotic gut health.
Yes.
That's a very good way to look at the whole cyberpunk universe in general. That's about the level of importance you have.
So I think the antivirus software is now doing whatever it can to scramble and persuade us to move back.
So our employers is not cyber systems.
Knowing what I do,
All you know is you got this gig by a shadowy operator on the end of a phone with a hacked voice, where it was probably delivered by some AI. You never heard a real human. And all you know is that they were the first team that came in seemed to be herding you in the direction of 22. You don't know what you're for all you know, your free will was hacked and overridden when you came in. Now that you've got some degree of clarity, you're not entirely sure. You have these competing objectives of 22 leads to the death of the system you're in, 12 leads to its salvation, but you're not entirely sure which one's
good or bad.
Well, yeah, I don't cast moral judgment, but
I'm familiar with these networks and how they operate and the amount of power that goes in to a simulation like this as well. So I'm looking to generate ways to overwork the system, because if we allow it to be comfortable and we slowly move and slowly make decisions, then it will have the processing power. But if we move quickly, it is having to respond fast and generate an environment around us.
Right.
So I look at you and I say, let's push now and push to the next cart, and we can get ahead of the system.
Okay. I'm happy to take Spyda's lead on this one here. He knows that stuff better than I do. And again, I trust him in as much as this sense of getting through this.
you can try and I'm putting it out there. You can always put the package on the ground and shoot at it or stamp on it and break it and destroy it and try and take no path at all. You can throw it out a window if you want.
I clutch the package tighter.
He's now looking at me like I'm an agent of the AI or the network.
Because it was trying to get us to throw the package out the window, and when that failed, it's trying to convince us to walk the other way. I think we were here with a mission and a purpose, and I get paid off the success of that mission.
Yeah. As do I.
So I'm moving towards the next car, which I believe will be car 20.
Okay. So as soon as you take a couple of steps towards car 20, you see in the distance the doors cascade shut, and you hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of the doors locking in front of you.
Fantastic.
You can keep moving?
I'm still moving towards 20, and I'd like to introduce you now to something that happened months ago.
Right. Flashback me.
I'm in my apartment again. I spend so much time in my apartment, and I grab a couple of decks off the coffee table and a couple of stims that I roll into my pocket. You go back years, and I will have had these inner belts made that I would conceal stims in. And if I was to go perform a trade somewhere, it'd be in a dark secure area. I'd take the stim out, I'd do the handover and things like that. I got so comfortable in what I was doing that it's lazy. I scoop a couple straight into my jacket pocket. I'm down out the emergency escape and I'm at a space cyberpunk ramen bar that's at a night market.
It's called Johnny Noodle.
Johnny Noodle. And there's loud music. There's a group of cyber bikers that are revving their cyber bikes off to the side and they're making different noises. And
We just call them bikers.
and there's like neon lights all over them. It is sensory overload in this night market. And again, it's raining for whatever reason. It is always raining. And I meet someone and it's another figure who's got one of those raincoat, all black color hoods. I can only see the bottom part. So
Like the
like sort of
peaked cap on
yeah,
top.
it's almost nose below that I can see. But you can see from it, they're very gaunt either side of their mouth and their hand is trembling a little. So it's someone who had what looks like a position of importance in their life in order and now it's off the rails. And at the ramen bar, just casually, I put the stims on the counter and say 5,000 credits. I know they don't have 5,000 credits. They said, I thought it was 1,000. I said, yeah, well, prices change, market fluctuate. They put 1,000 credits up and say, it's everything I have. And I go, you're in debt 4,000. So let me tell you how you're going to pay that debt. I know they work at cyber systems because I tail people in the city. I look for people I can exploit. I'm a monster.
And I'm sure you're cyber as well, giving you those details. You've
Yep.
probably seen the bank records and
Each time I
incoming
do
pay and
the first buy with someone, I'm getting
You're
information
looking
off
for
them.
weakness.
Yeah,
You're looking for...
And I would seldom sell to someone twice unless I think I can exploit them in the long run. And this is one I pounced on early. So I gave them the task that they were to take a micro disk into cyber and they were to perform a download of a network capability and like virus protection style data of a new system that they were trialing.
Right.
And so that was his 4,000 credit payment to me. And when I connected it to my cyber deck, when I got home, I found different things. A lot of it didn't work because it was just so dynamic and ahead of my system, but some bits got through. And it was to do with magnetic security door locking systems.
sure.
And it's at this point that we're back on the cart that I say, this just paid for itself. And I press the button on my cyber deck and I look at the doors to see what happens.
Right. So flashbacks can cost you 1 or 2 stress. 1 is for simple, obvious setups. 2 is for slightly more elaborate plans that involve unlikely factors. It's going to cost you 2 stress.
Okay. I feel like I deserve that if for nothing else, that it was a long story.
It was a long story, and you magically, the one thing that worked was the thing that you need. And that's beautiful. I love that about this game system. I think it's fantastic. So, sure, you've got targeted information that's going to help you hack through these doors or through this door. As you're plugging into the terminal, bing, 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 bing. Dear passengers, please get the out through car 12, not 22, 12. Bing, boom, and finish it.
Bing, boom.
And for info, I'm now 3 out of 7 stress.
Okay.
On par with myself after slipping in someone's yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all the ways for a super high-tech commando to get injured, I think that's a great one. So the door slides open and you make your way into the next carriage. And as you do, you feel the package tucked under your arm, almost like a text notification vibrate. But you look at the screen and there's nothing. Nothing's changed. It's the same as it was. You make your way through and again you see commuters sat in here, different layout this time. You're into car 20. There's a person right near the door as you get in, staring through the window. And as you move up to him or as you move past him, you can see that the reflection in the window is of a completely different person.
Cool.
Awesome.
And you can see just on the other side, just as you get in, there's like a classic assistance robot that would have been in these. It's really out of date and they're all a bit beaten up now. But this one is just, it's got one arm. It's painted grey, and it's got one of those like face that's an LED, so it can be animated and respond. And as soon as you get close to it, it's like, would you like some assistance today? Would you like some assistance today? Every time you move close to it. How would you like to keep going? Would you like to keep moving, or are you going to stop? What would you like to do?
I think we keep moving. I think Spyda was right in that the quicker we move through these carriages, the quicker we get to the end and the less time we have for the system to throw up obstacles or fight us. So as we move past, so the person walking towards us, so the person with a reflection.
Yeah, person sat down in the chair with a reflection that doesn't match. There's other people in the carriage as well, but that's just the one that catches your attention as you walk in.
Yeah, and what does the reflection look like?
It looks like a blonde woman.
Ooh.
It's a dude with glasses and brown hair, but the reflection is just a blonde woman who you don't know, just a generically pretty blonde woman.
Yeah, okay. I'm liking the look of this robot. I feel like this robot, whilst isn't a threat per se, I feel like it almost is maybe a remnant of something else that shouldn't be here. So in that, I engage with the robot a little bit, and I'm like, how can you help today?
As a network assistance device, I am more than happy to provide any assistance you require. Would you like to know our upcoming stops?
Sure.
Our upcoming stops are 12, love of God, 12, 12, 12, love of God. Would you like any further assistance today?
No, I don't think that I will. I'm just going to move forward. I'm going to keep an eye on this passenger with the different reflection, this vampiric passenger.
Yep.
But we're moving quickly and forward and with purpose. We're getting through these carriages. I'm not going to engage with anything that's not a threat yet.
Yep.
Because, again, I'm aware now that as injured as we get in here, we can still be outside and will cause total brain damage, and we need to get out of here. We've made it so far as to 20. Let's keep going.
So I'm pretty happy that your hack is still working and you can have the door unlocked from 20 into 21, if that's what you'd like to do.
Sure.
All right, not to feed you the answer or anything, but I'm pretty comfortable that you've got this access. You roll very well to deserve it. Great.
You've saved yourself another 12-minute flashback.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just can't stand your stories. Oh, I'm sorry. That was hurtful. That was unnecessary. So you make your way, and the doors to number 21 open, and the big 21 on the wall. And again, very similar layout. And you see, as you walk in, there's this handful of people scattered around. A couple of them look up as you walk in, but apart from that, don't really respond. But you can see there's a toddler wearing like green coveralls sat next to a lady just near the front of the carriage.
Toddler.
And further back, the same toddler is sat next to another guy.
Oh, no.
Same outfit, same appearance, same everything.
They're just getting cheap on the NPCs now.
What would you like to do?
I keep moving. None of this is a shock to me now at this point. I could see 8 of those toddlers in varying seats, and I just am of the understanding that these are being generated by the simulation, and it's not for me to need to interact with them. It was designed as a countermeasure early on to distract me or make me feel comfortable. But I'm past that, and I'm moving straight towards the next carriage.
Sure. You get halfway down the length of the carriage, and a person, as you approach them, quickly stands up in their seat and stands there facing you. And it's a middle-aged man. He's wearing like a trench coat. He's got like almost shiny, like incredibly shiny business shoes, patent leather and things. He looks a bit old-fashioned to your eyes, and he's clearly an older guy, and he just looks at you, and he's standing there in your way.
And I'm leading the charge through here, you know, sort of the bulldozer in front. And my reaction, my thing says, yeah, look, he's in my way, but I'm, again, on Spyda's advice of moving forward, I pretty much just move him. Use whatever system, and attempt to bundle him to the side, to push him aside.
You do
to
the big don't argue sweep arm out, and the second your arm touches him, he immediately starts sobbing. Like you've brushed him. He starts sobbing, and as you look at him, you can see that bits of him he starts falling apart. Bits of him start melting off.
Gross.
And he's pushed back out the way, sure, and he feels tangible and real to you, but you can even feel like sand being poured from a bucket, just bits coming off him under your arm.
Oh, God. I just keep saying, they're not real, Spyda. Let's keep going.
I'm power walking towards the next doors.
Right. You reach the next doors, the doors slide open.
What carriage are we in now?
Doors open and you see carriage 22 in front of you. And this carriage, again, there's a handful of people. At the far end of the carriage is a big door which is like staff only, driver's compartment. It's got like red tape around the framing. It's got like big, cross hatching and things on there. And in the carriage, sat in the seat, you can see there's a woman sat there. And as you look at her, you can see she's got a pet on her lap. What pet is it, Mike?
This is a Siamese cat.
Siamese. Is that the hairless one?
Yep.
Yep. So it's like a creepy, hairless look. Sorry if you've got a Siamese cat. If you're not happy with that, give me a thumbs up, like
And they
in the
talk
comments.
more than they meow, really, these sorts of cats. So I figure that'll play a role.
It says meow at you. Great. So you look at this woman and this cat there, and she's just sort of absent-mindedly stroking it while she's staring out the window. And you notice on the other side of the carriage, there's these two like punks arguing, like classic street punks, the street toughs you'd be used to. And as you're taking your steps towards them, as you get a bit closer, the conversation comes into view, and it's just radio static and clips of data transmissions and bursts. You look back at the woman with a pat on her lap, and it's now a long hair, fluffy Chihuahua dog with a pink bow and its hair.
The cat has a collar with one of those little metallic key ring information displays on it. I turn it has a number engraved in it. What's that number?
It's number 12.
There it is.
So the cat is now a dog, but you glance away, and as you look back, she's now carrying a very small tank with a turtle in it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
What sort of tank? A T-72?
Yeah. It's quite,
it still-
quite
I like
a good
the
tank
idea
joke there.
I like the idea that the turtle still has the little pink bow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
consistent. They've all got the little pink collar or bow with the tank.
With the number 12.
So there's that staff-only door down the far end, and behind you, as you've paused for a second here, a few carriages behind you, you can see through the little view, the little porthole on the door, you can see 3 or 4 carriages back, the bustle of what looks like a tactical team entering the train. And you see them pushing their way up through. You see, as you watch, you see them get from 4 carriages behind to 3 carriages behind as they're making their way up. And they're moving with purpose, weapons shouldered, pushing, kicking people out the way. They're on the trot towards you.
At this point, I reach into my jacket and I pull out what looks like a flying saucer, a dinner plate, and it's metallic. It has a bright red center. This is an EMP mine.
And as soon as you reach into your coat, bing, 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 it says, please relax and enjoy refreshments from our vending machine before you continue making your way through the train. Please relax. Bing bong.
And I stick this against the side of the monorail capsule and allow the beam to cross all the way to the other side. So this is between gaps in seats.
So it's like a laser trip
Yes,
tripwire for an EMP mine.
correct.
Okay, and that's something that you've summoned into creation as part of your load.
Yes, so I've used up one of my gear slots. That is number 2 out of 3 has now been used.
Excellent. So you've used 2 of your 3 load slots. So you've still got 1 more item that you can bring with you. So you set your mine up. You start moving your way towards.
I'm now power walking towards car number 22.
So you're in 22. The door now leads. It's that staff only door.
Yep, so I'm moving towards the staff only door.
Brodie, what about you?
I'm following Spyda's lead here. I'm letting him set this up. I'm sort of keeping a security eye over him, keeping an eye on this woman and these punks in the carriage with us too. Basically helping him set up for what is clearly going to be an assault that's coming our way.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on those in the carriage with us.
Which one of you is approaching the door? Are you just walking straight up to the door, or how are you doing it? How are you going to solve this? If you're covering the rear, Brodie, is that you, Spyda, to go and
Yeah,
open
I have the package
staff
under my arm and I'm going straight to the door.
Yeah.
You get up to the door and there is a big red button right next to it that says "Do not press staff only." It's got one of those little lift-up covers like a nuclear launch button.
I immediately
Package under your arm is now consistently thrumming and vibrating.
I walk up and only have one hand available to me, which is my left, and I lift the plastic display protector. And as I do that, I listen because I anticipate I may hear something as I lift it.
Bing, 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 bing. The voiceover says, "Today is a good day to die, to ride." And you now recognize, Brodie, that this voice is the voice of your little sister.
No!
Still going?
And this gives me pause. I take this as a threat. Clearly, to me, the system is threatening my sister and my family, and it's given me pause to, should I continue? Because as much as I want this to be my final run and get the money, there's no point if I know how powerful CS system or cyber systems are. They can get anyone, anywhere, anytime.
And I want to point out, it's not clear to you if it's always been your little sister's voice, or if it's transitioned to that, and you've just, or if you've just recognised it, or what. That's intentionally ambiguous by me.
No, I get
could
it.
have been her the whole time.
I get it, and I'm slightly aware that I understand the psychology of it, and that but it is a veiled threat, or it is an overt threat, however you want to put it. Yeah. And it gives me pause for a second, and I'm looking at Spyda now, going, if they've got Casey, maybe we should stop this.
And I say, don't mention any names in here, because you may have created that and not them. They are simply giving you mechanisms for stress. We need to continue with the mission. Brace.
You pushing the button?
And I turn and big palm smack on the red button, and I leave my hand on it as I depress it.
Excellent. And that sounds like a great place to end the episode.
That is disgusting.
I'm very sorry, everyone.
I'm so scared now we were doing the right thing.
Welcome to the cliffhanger model of trying to get you to subscribe and listen to the next episode. Today, we have been playing and I at least have been having a great time with the Cyber plus Punk. So CBR plus PNK is the easiest way to search for it. It means that Cyberpunk RPG created by Emmanuel Mello. It's published by Mythopia Games. I've been having a great time. I think it's a fantastic system. It's based on the Forged in the Dark engine. If you want to grab a copy, jump on Drive-Thru RPG. As I said last episode, they've got some bundles with some great little add-ons. Nothing is more than a pamphlet size. The core rules, the add-ons, the random creation tables. It is a super easy game to read and to run. Please leave us a review. In-universe reviews are our absolute favorite. If you are the clone toddler who has appeared a couple of times, we want to hear from you. If you are the person whose reflection doesn't sync up, provide us a valid explanation for that in the comments. We like to read out our favourite universe reviews, as you heard at the start of the episode. And please tell everybody about us.
So for me, I always promote the Patreon, but today I want to focus more on the Discord. If you listen to this and you'd like somewhere to hang out and share your love of the hobby, the Discord is where that's at. We have painting discussions about miniature painting. We have PC gaming, we have the role playing, so many different areas of the hobby, but what unites us is our passion and entertainment. A lot of these is designed for it's a small group or an individual doing an activity. Increase your joy of these hobbies by sharing it with others. And it's a perfect light-hearted community and a respectful community that you can do that in. So that's an avenue for you to hang out with us and with the others. And the link will be down in the video description or in the podcast description.
Absolutely. And if you have a favourite RPG, if you have a game that you think we would be great at running, we've played everything so far from, we'll have a recent Daggerheart episode, which is sort of the new hotness. We love games like Mothership. We've also played, oh dang, Bigfoot Stole My Car with my friend's birthday present inside.
Delta Green, 40K.
Delta Green, 40. So we're happy for the full improv end of it, but tell us why it's your favorite and why we should play it, and help me do my homework. Give me hints. Tiny from the Discord very famously gave us great tips for running Delta Green, and we had a ball with it. So we would love to hear from you and help shape the future of the podcast. Mike, very briefly, your favorite moment from the episode?
I think it was the sheer panic of the 12-12, for the love of God, 12, when the system started to become desperate. I loved.
And Brodie, Fitz, what?
Yeah, I think mine actually came right at the end where you threw in that psychological Rubik's Cube to me of it, recognising my younger sister's voice, which makes me question, it makes me really think, well, perhaps I can do the wrong thing and get away with this here. I'm not sure. That's got me really worried, and I'm going to carry that fear over into the next episode because I want to make sure I do the right thing here. So I don't like that. It's my favourite part, and I don't like it.
Right, well, as always, I have been Gordon. Thanks for joining us.
I've been Fitz.
I've been Mike.
We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Person Badger.